Welcome to Stasisen, and let's take a look at the new and improved service beacons. They were changed actually quite a while ago, and I just somehow never got around to talking about them. If you still remember the old ones, you probably know that they weren't really that profitable, well at least half the time, and you never knew what you were going up against. With these new and improved ones, the pay actually explains quite a bit what you may be dealing with. I have several options to pick from, and as you can see, my rating also matches the required rating, which means I have pretty much access to all of these that may appear, may they be low, medium or hard. So the low threat ones are quite simple. You're usually up against a single light fighter, several light fighters, maybe even a single heavier fighter. These are going to be the base missions at first for your service beacons. You're not going to be going up against big boy ships like Idris or capital ships or any of these a bit bigger ships than you. Everything that you go against, you should be able to do with a light fighter. And of course, reasonably quickly. The mediocre usually has heavy fighters or drop ships or ships that you would consider a bit bigger. Something that compared to size to your light fighter should outclass you. Perhaps a drop ship like Drake Cutlass Black or perhaps even something bigger like Valkyr. Mediocre service beacons are also doable with a light fighter, although it may take a wee bit longer. You may be facing up against several ships, and it will of course require you to maneuver perhaps a bit more, dodge those rockets, use your flares, and just deal with whatever is thrown at you. You may also have several friendly ships. Occasionally you might want to defend them, assault the targets attacking them, or just use them to pull away NPC's focus when you're dealing with them. It can be hard to predict what threat you're going up against. Some mediocres may feel like you're dealing with the low threat one, some low threat ones may feel like you're dealing with a mediocre one, and the hard ones can feel like they're a bit simpler or they're a bit harder. Of course, depending on what you're facing up against. But usually the hard ones have that kind of a pay that you probably don't want to turn it down. Although mediocre ones have a decent pay as well. Just make sure you're going after your targets with something reliable, preferably something that can regenerate. I know I took these little explosive cannons, but I just wanted to smack some modules around and seemed like a great combo. Now, as for the hard ones, this is probably one of the best that I did get. I'm not fighting against Idris or Hammerhead. I have some mediocre ships like Drake Cutlass Blacks, which are quite killable with a light fighter, and then some others like RSI Constellation. There are several big ships here and they pay out around 250k. And almost as much as it would be to deal with an Idris. Idris will pay over 300,000, which is really remarkable. And that is a separate bracket of its own, which is a critical service beacon. The hard ones pay out really well, but the critical one will pay you even more, but it will also require you to fight in something bigger than a light fighter. It is doable, but it will take forever. And if you don't have anything big, I think it's really good if you can get some of these hard ones. I don't think I've seen any other hard one. I've seen 4 of them or so, and they've all been pretty much in the same combo that I have seen here. The payout has been over 200,000. I guess it can vary a little, as you saw with the low threat ones. They can vary from 1200 or so up to 10,000, and pretty much the same goes for others as well. If there's anything to do in this game, it is to do service beacons whenever you find them. Get your rating up and enjoy those expensive ones if you can find them. You can't often find service beacons. There are scenarios where you don't find any, then there are scenarios where you find 10 or so stacked upon one another. But whenever you do, try to get them, and eventually you will probably ignore the low ones or maybe even mediocre ones. But if you will find a heavy one, believe me, it is one of the easiest money you will make if you have a decent heavy fighter. Fine, you can also use a light fighter, but it will take a while. At the moment it is limited to ship combat, which directly isn't bad because it's an NPC requesting assistance out in open space, getting attacked by pirates or criminals or so. But perhaps in the future we'll get some more ground gameplay and some raiders assaulting something or something different. At the moment it's best we got, and money wise I think they've done it justice because you did get paid horribly with the old service beacons, and these ones actually give you some idea what you're facing off against with the pile of money they offer to you. If you don't trust yourself in ship combat, or you haven't really been liking it, or you haven't gotten the right moves, the right groove for it, I think this is one of those great things you can do. The low threat ones, you learn from that, then you'll face the mediocre threat, and up to a hard and critical one if you truly want to go there. It is gradual leveling to an extent, and it isn't that hard to do. You just need to keep moving, just keep firing, and try not to let your little friendlies out there get killed. Anyway, thanks for watching.